In this video, we'll see how to make super soft and delicious pav with all the tips and tricks. Let's get started. First step is to activate the yeast. So for that we need 3/4 cup warm milk. Milk should be warm and not hot. Add 2 teaspoons sugar and give it a good stir. This process is called as blooming of the yeast. Now add 2.5 teaspoons dry yeast. I'm using dry yeast here and you can see the brand name mentioned on the video. Give it a mix and then you need to cover it and let it bloom. So this would take 10 to 15 minutes, but if you see that the yeast is not activating or the blooming has not happened, that means the yeast is not good. Please, in that case, do not go ahead and use that yeast. Please don't do that. This is a very important step. In a bowl, take 2.5 cup all-purpose flour or maida, or if you have bread flour, you can take that as well. Add salt as per taste and just make a well in the center and pour in the yeast mixture. Now bring everything together. Now gradually add water, so you would need 4 to 5 tablespoons water. And you would notice that the dough would become sticky like this. That's okay because this is how it's going to be. Next step is to pull and stretch the dough to develop gluten. So I'm showing you one thing. So this is the whisk attachment and this is dough hook attachment. I don't know if you have this with your hand mixer, but I have it. So if you have this, you can also use this. This would save you some time and your energy. So if you have it, you can use it. But I'm going to show you how to do it when you do not have a stand mixer or do not have such dough hook attachment in your hand mixer. So you need to stretch and pull the dough, and you can use oil or you can apply oil to your hand to handle the dough well. You need to do this for 15 to 20 minutes and in between add some butter to this dough. So I'm using 2.5 tablespoons and then continue stretching and pulling the dough. Towards the end, you may add a little maida, extra maida, or use oil to handle the dough. So you would still see it's slightly sticking, that's okay. Use oil and then bring it together and put it in your bowl. Cover it and let it rest for 1 to 2 hours. It should double in size. It totally depends on the temperature in your area or where you stay. So this is the mold which I'm going to use. It's not mandatory to use a cake tin or cake mold. You can use your baking tray as well. If you would have seen my vlog, I have used a baking tray in that. Putting butter paper is totally optional. You can see the dough has doubled in size. A very important point. If you let this dough rest for like a lot of time, then that would also not result in a good bread. So overproofing or overdoing it is also not going to give you good bread. Just knead again for a minute. Now it's time to divide this dough into small portions. So I'm dividing this dough into 9 portions to make 9 pav. But let me tell you, you can also double the number. I mean, you can make small pav 18 in number. So 9 2s are 18. So 9 big pav with this recipe, 12 slightly smaller pav and 18 smaller pav. So it's up to you now to decide how many pav you want to and what size of pav you want to make. But remember, smaller pav would take less time for baking compared to the bigger ones. Now it's time for second proofing or proving. Cover it with a damp cloth and let it sit for 45 minutes approximately. Again, it depends on the temperature in your region. Pav has doubled in size and yes, that could be an indicator for you to identify whether it's ready for baking. Brush with some milk because that would help get the browning on top. Or if you are non-vegetarian or you are vegetarian, you can also apply egg wash. Now it's time to bake it. So I've preheated my oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes and I'm going to bake this pav for 20 to 22 minutes. And like I said, for smaller pav, the baking time would reduce. So the pavs are done and it's time to brush these with oil or butter. I'm using oil here, but you can also use butter. Another very important tip, when the mold becomes warm enough to touch or your baking tray becomes warm enough to touch, take the pav out and place on a wire rack or something that would let air circulate from its bottom. If you let it cool down completely in the tray or the mold, the bottom will become soggy. And yeah, when you take the pav out of the oven, the top might feel hard, but as you apply oil or butter and let it sit for some time and let the temperature come down, the top of the pav would become soft. Look at the beautiful pav, and you can see the layers coming off when I'm separating the pav. So these have turned out really fantastic. Like I said, you can make 9 or 12 or 18 pav with this recipe. Totally up to you how big you want the pav to be. Give this recipe a try and please follow all the tips and tricks and the instructions given, because that would help you make a very beautiful bread. Enjoy!